right there. In my time of watching him, if you really wanted to win a game, you'd give the ball to Dennis Leonard. You had a great chance to win. One of the greatest games ever pitched. After how many, 2 years, 3 years out of the game? 3 years because of knee injuries. He came back and damn near pitched a no-hitter against the Toronto Blue Jays on national television. And one of the most emotional days I think we've ever had, but what a terrific pitcher, Dennis Leonard, and what a great guy. And last, but certainly not least, how about 8 gold gloves? His nickname was Smooth. Pretty good reason for that. He is not only a member of the Royals Hall of Fame, he's one of 3 Royals to have his number retired, number 20, on that scoreboard out in center field. As I mentioned, he's a member of the Royals Hall of Fame, should be in Cooperstown, in my mind, yes, the greatest
Thank you. Dennis is going to say something first. You know what? Everybody that's been up here has been funny. And between me and Frank, we're not real funny. Our speaker left. Because other than John Warden, would anybody else disagree that John is the second funniest person in this camp? Whether you play on the team that we coach, or whether you play on another field, I bet you're still laughing because you can hear him everywhere. And he's that type of person. But we have a group of guys, and everything's been said about, you know, different walks of life and, you know, living fantasies and everything else. But we had a group of guys that we played today in the championship game. We were fortunate last year to have a lot of those same gentlemen on our team. And we won the championship. This year, we got another group. And I know it's not the coaching. Believe me. It's being blessed with people that have fun, want to compete, and go out there and do it. We lost one game to these guys. And they were trying to reason with us, well, we're both 5-1, you know, we should split those little things up there. I said, it's not what you win, it's when you win it. I think these guys had a blast. Obviously, I talked about John saying a lot of things everybody heard. Their families are here, their wives. Did anybody ever hear any of those people during the day? I think that is really great. I mean, come with the family. Ed Holland kind of got some guys together, and he's done that one in Florida. What did you say you want to do it in 4 decades?
4 decades.
So this is his 3rd. Hopefully we can be back, all of us here and everybody else, for the 4th.
5 years.
Yeah, but don't worry. Why don't you come back next year? But without John being here to entertain the crowd, I'm going to put Frank on, but, you know, like everybody echoed their sentiments. Without you guys, we can't do it. And people thank us for coming to do this. And you have all these tapes, all these pictures. Thank goodness that they don't have the tape of the coach's room. I think it would have to be edited an awful lot. And I didn't understand when I was playing what went on in the coach's room. And obviously this is a totally different situation because we're fantasizing. And it's like, geez, this guy. I can imagine what they would say about a lot of us. So it's kind of fun. You know, we miss John not being here, but I'm going to put Frank on. He'll take over. And you know why this team was called the Gold Team? 8 gold gloves.
Thank you, Dennis. And Dennis is right. I'm not a very funny guy. I do have a lot of cliches, but I haven't found one to fit yet. But it's really, Greg, you are forgiven. Les,
Yes.
You were my coach 1 year, then you defected. Your first year here, you was my coach.
I don't have a choice, right?
Oh, well. But you know, as a board member, I just want to also echo my appreciation for you guys and the dedication that you've shown to the alumni and to the Royals and to the fantasy camp itself. And also, it seems like the families are getting more involved as the years go by, and we had a great cheering squad for this afternoon's game, and we just had a super time. But also, Duke touched on the gift giving that we were able to do because of you guys, and I think for me it's just an idea of just being down here. I really would like to have been able to coach each and every one of you guys, but having the clinic that we had the first day and being able to at least touch each guy individually, get to see each guy up close, then I think that really made a big difference. And so when you went into the games and played the games, you kind of feel like you kind of knew the guys, and I was kind of looking for all these little things I was trying to teach in 20 minutes. And some I saw, some I didn't. But I think just the key thing is just the interaction between the campers, and I really had a good time this season, and look forward to quite a few more of these events. But I don't want to take too long. I know that we've got a bunch of guys that started early in the year, committed to the fantasy camp, committed to being in shape, committed to coming in ready to play. But going into the last game today, I wasn't really worried about whether or not we were going to hit the ball or not. But you ever heard of base to base? But I thought we were going to go 30 feet. A little bit at a time, because we couldn't run, and I thought it was going to be one of those that we had to get so many hits to get a run they wouldn't be able to score enough runs. But the guys on this team, they were just so accountable to each other. I mean, we knew we had a set group of guys that were going to pinch run. We knew that Holly was going to look after his dad, and we knew that Sally was going to look after Wild Bill, and we knew that George was going to take care of anybody else that needed help. So we never did have to say we need a runner. These guys were always ready to go. And so they were very accountable, and they really picked each other up, and they really played well together. And someone, I think Les touched on it, every time one of the Hollies did something, third base, Kevin would say, "That's my dad," when he does something at first, and when Kevin does something at third, and Ed would say, "That's my son over there." So they really had a great time, and I think the one of the most touching moments to me today was when Kevin hit one off the wall, and Ed was the first guy there hugging him. I mean, that was the camp there for those two guys, and it's kind of neat to see father-sons get together and really enjoy the game of baseball, because that's kind of where it starts when you're really young, and bring it up to this level. It's just outstanding to see this type of commitment and this type of emotion that comes out in our games. So I'm not gonna, I can stand here and talk a little bit, but first I want to present something to a guy who's very loyal. He was very loyal to Greg for a few years on his ball clubs, and it took him 6 years to get to me, even though he wore my number for 6 years. But he didn't want to let Greg down. But I guess he figured this year he wanted to be a winner. So he decided to come across, and and Sylvie played for me his first year. He defected. He wanted to see what everybody else was like, and I think that I had mixed emotions about today's game, because last year's team that won were a lot of these same guys that played for me last year. So it's kind of hard to really get excited about what was going on. But Big John told me last year I got sick on the last day and I couldn't be there for the championship game. So he said that I entrusted him to win the championship last year. So he's going to entrust me and Leo to win the championship this year. So we've left him probably 50 emails, not emails, but voicemails. So hopefully he'll get it and be happy tomorrow night when he has his induction.